Welcome back to the Citystead. Some of you guys have been interested in kind of seeing the entire grow room area. I've shown bits and pieces of it, little pictures, but I haven't shown you like the whole setup, so I thought today we take a look at it. So our grow room is a bit of a mishmash of a whole bunch of different things because we got different grow lights at different times. It's just a little grow light that I got from Gurney's from a gift certificate I got for Christmas, and it's perfect. It's adjustable height wise, and it has worked as our nice little microgreen grow station as of right now. This shelf has just done microgreens up until now. We might start rotating it a little bit more and putting in a few more starts and stuff under here as we get to that point, but for now this has been a high producer of microgreens for us. If you're looking for a cheaper solution than some LED grow lights or just grow lights in general, these are actually just shop lights. They're a T8 bulb in just a single thing, and I bought little adjustable clips on here. You guys can see that there, and you can pull them up and down, but these work perfectly fine for growing some vegetables. You can see in here we actually have some red cabbage and some pak choy sprouting up already, and that's just using shop lights. Really inexpensive, really easy to set up right there. If you see in here, I got a lot of peppers and some tomatoes, and this is my heat mat station. There's two heat mats underneath here, and then I have just plant lights that are just for the leaf when they get a little bit bigger. And then on the big shelf, what I got is this. It's very comparable to my Mars Hydro, this light right off of Amazon. This one gets a little hotter than the Mars Hydro does, but it's the same wattage, it's the same kelvins. It puts out basically the same thing. It doesn't have a shroud, but like I said, this is a cheaper version basically of what the Mars Hydro is. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money, this light is actually pretty decent. I ended up getting two of them. I got one here, and we do have one up over there, one of our other corners, our little pocket areas in the back. And then of course this is my favorite light that I have, this Mars Hydro. It's pretty cool to the touch. It's got the nice shroud to kind of direct that light down a little bit. You can see right here we got a bunch of tomatoes coming up, and it's covers that entire shelf there. That's about 3 foot by 18 inches deep. So I don't know if you guys have been working on little grow areas or not, but one thing you can kind of see behind me here, yeah, cable management becomes insane. So I still haven't completely nailed this system down and what I'm doing with all my cables and all that, but I did end up trying to make it easier so I can use different sections of this little grow area setup that I have at different times. So like my heat mats right here are on this switch right here, so I can actually turn them on and off separate from the timer that runs everything. So if I don't have anything on the shelf right here on the heat mats, I can turn them off and not have to worry about them running. And I also have another switch that'll run the lights on the top shelf, and I can turn those on and off through this switch that I set up here. And all of this runs back down into a timer that just runs, you know, however many hours of the day you want it. Really simple timer, and I got that at the Home Depot, because that is where every dad knows you find the good stuff, usually at Home Depot. I have gotten some questions before about this stuff back here, and this is Reflecto Mat, and you can just get this at like the Home Depot in the insulation area, right? And all it is just a reflective material. It's got a little bit of insulation to it, but really what I was doing was just putting it around to make sure that none of my light's escaping. It's going more directly to where I want it. And like you can see back here how much it actually reflects off of this. So all that light that's trying to go out further to the sides is actually hitting the sides and kind of bouncing back in. So like here on this shelf, it's a good like trap type unit. Same with down there. I do want to put some over here where we got our cord management. Once I figure out the cord management issue all the way, I'll probably put another sheet of that here to keep this light more contained inside this little box area. And then also I got it all around here because I don't want to lose any of that light off the back side of the little grow space. The other good thing about this Reflecto Mat stuff, you put it here on top of the shelf and you can actually use this shelf for things. Like I got a bunch of storage going on up here, some more trays that will be microgreens when we get to the next batch. Because as I'm harvesting those, I'm putting these in. So usually I bring these down, put them in, pull these out, and we go up and eat them. And you can see there's just some more storage back here. And then I also got like some seeds and stuff up here. Usually there's another box or two here, but right now they're out in the greenhouse because I was planting seeds. And here is my next little thing I've been working on. My first ever mushrooms. I just did one of these little box kits. I gotta tell you, that is pretty sweet. They grow like wicked fast. It's pretty cool to see. Like this mass right here is about 6 days old. And then you can see over here we're getting a little bit tiny like pinpricks of the next batch that's coming up. And they're just real tiny. So we're probably looking at like another 7 days to have the second little batch of harvest off of this. But this right here is almost ready to harvest right now. And it just looks so good. These are pink oysters. I got this at, you guessed it, Home Depot. But I've been wanting to try mushrooms so bad, and I got a couple logs going outside, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give one of those box kits a try. So that is it, and look at that. That is just too cool to me. That is just blowing my mind how awesome these mushrooms look. The other thing we got in the little grow space as of the winter and right now, the worm bin. It's freezing cold outside, and we wanted to try to overwinter our worms. So here is our little worm bin, and it's been doing really well in here. You can see here, this is my microgreen sheet. I've been giving this to the worms, and you can see they absolutely love getting themselves some fresh greens. So that's been working out great. So I was worried about having a little bit of waste with those microgreens because you got all this soil with the sprouts that you cut off, and you have to just kind of toss it. But by throwing it into the worm bin like this on top, they can go ahead and have at it, and they will recycle that, and they'll make it into some really amazing soil for me. So it will actually be a quick turnaround too. I'm guessing within a few months we'll actually be able to use all that soil again in our microgreen trays and keep going and going and going. It's just a big cycle. Once you get it going, it's actually pretty easy to keep going. You just gotta keep doing it. The last part of the grow room is probably my favorite. We got all these plants down here. We got all this stuff going on. We got to have a way to water it. So last year I had a little bit of setup down here. Not nearly as much as what I have now, but I did grow a few things. And this was what I used to water. I'd fill this up and bring it down here, water, go back up, fill it up, bring it down here, water. So I definitely needed something that would be a little bit better. And that is where I came up with the idea of the kitchen sink sprayer as my waterer. Now it is a little high pressure. If you put your finger underneath the handle right there and you pull the trigger down, you don't get as much water as you do if you just pull the trigger straight on. So it's like perfect pressure and everything right there. And I also set this up on a extension so it can actually reach all the way around this little grow area, and I can water everything with this. Now the cool thing about this is I ran it off of my ice maker. So there is a ice maker right above us is the kitchen, and I just put a T in the line from the main water over to the ice machine, and then I hooked up my cable into that. So it was really easy to do. I had a readily water source available, and you know, it is city water, so depending on like different setups, obviously out in the country, got well water is probably a little bit better for your plants. But you can see I do have a lot of green stuff growing in here, so obviously this water is not that bad for them because they seem to be doing all right and thriving. So there's you guys' tour of my little grow room setup here. It's pretty nifty actually. I'm really enjoying having this, and I can get a lot of stuff going, and I can't wait to have fresh microgreens all of next winter. We only had them for a few weeks of this winter. We just started kind of like a month ago doing the microgreen stuff, so really looking forward to keeping that going. And then we also had to figure out ways to utilize some of this other space, so maybe little tiny tomatoes, maybe some kind of dwarf cucumber. I'll be looking into it because it'd be really nice to have a fresh salad completely from my basement with some fungi, of course. This Mr. Mars Hydro.
Between on somewhere here in pockets where you're shooting their teeth. I'ma teach you listen. Secrets from me, taking days back, build back your skin. Try to forget how it feels inside. You should try to say no once in a while. Oh, once in a while, take a taste back, build back your skin. Try to forget how it feels inside. You should try to say no once in a while. Oh, once in a while, you'll be the news. I said you got here on this stage, not as eloquent as I may have imagined, but it will get the job done. Your tongue, every line is plotted and designed to be standing on your bedroom windows ledge, and everyone else that it hits, that it gets to, is nothing more than collateral damage. Take a taste back, build back your skin. Try to forget how it feels inside. You should try to say no once in a while. No once in a while, take a taste back, build back your skin. Try to forget how it feels inside. You should try to say no once in a while. No once in a while.
Alright, well that's it. I gotta get out of here before the timer shuts off and all these lights go off. So, remember to be bold and grow bold, and as always, I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace, I'm out.